Hey everybody, what's up? It is the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Tumblr. No, you can't. Why do I always fucking say that? You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and most importantly, you can find us on YouTube. So give us a thumbs up and give us a like and share us with your host Komp and
America.
Today's film is
Brightburn, 2019.
Brightburn 2019. What if a child from another world crash landed on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he proved to be something far more sinister? Who wrote that? Directed by David Yarovesky. Written by Brian Gunn. Mark Gunn. Brian Gunn? Oh, it was... Wait a minute.
Is that James Gunn's
I thought James
brother?
Gunn wrote this. I guess he produced
James
it.
Gunn produced it.
Oh, okay.
I guess his family...
Yes. Starring Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, and Jackson A. Dunn, and a whole bunch of other people. So, Brightburn actually ended up being a little bit of a hit this year, horror film-wise, and
Really?
a precursor to the show The Boys on Amazon, which is a fantastic series that you should
Wait, The
watch.
Boys is about this world?
No, I'm sorry, it's a precursor to this type of show. I mean, it's not the first time we've had, like, super serious hero films, like, look at Watchmen, do you know what I mean? It's based on the Alan Moore book, which was from... way back when, and this is sort of the first, I guess, anti-superhero film besides
This is basically the plot of Superman if he was bad, or the plot of Dragon Ball if the grandpa hadn't adopted him.
and also the antagonist in The Boys is basically Superman if he was bad. So there's also a shared sort of death in that show and this film, which is the laser through the face thing. Although, which is not the first time. That's been done a lot.
Show for me.
Well, listen. He lasers a lot of people in the face. That's not very but surprisingly enough, there's one particular laser through the face that's incredibly graphic, even more so than this film. But
Okay.
so Brightburn takes place in it shows us 10 years earlier. I believe was it 2009 or something like that. I think it takes place 2008.
Yeah.
2008, where this couple who is trying to conceive film, it's tightly written.
2006.
Okay, so the film is tightly written. It's they have foreshadowing. They have a bunch of
They have Roy from The Office. They have Elizabeth.
Oh, is that him?
Banks.
Was that the husband who gets cheated on by that jerk off Jim? Anyway, so they obviously show up.
She didn't cheat on him. They're broken up.
No, but she kisses Jim, doesn't she? And then she dumps him.
He kisses her. That's not cheating.
She was into it. So this film takes... I like that he got married and had a great relationship after, and then she ended up almost cheating on Jim with another guy. Even though I never watched the show, I kept up on their drama.
You know what? They just threw that in to add some drama for the last
seemed
season.
it made no sense, honestly.
They needed to end that show 5 seasons.
What I understand on that show too is that I gleaned some parts of that show, and there's a part where I think Michael Scott, who's the main character, right, whatever his name is, he's having an affair with a woman, and does he not know and she's consenting to being recorded having an affair with him, and this is supposed to be a documentary. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, back to Brightburn.
You're getting too deep with it.
This movie obviously is very tightly written. It's a very compact film. It doesn't make sense on some fucking parts. I'll tell you why. But film starts out with showing books of infertility.
Tell me why.
If you're raising a child that you adopted and you never got, shots for measles, unless they were anti-vaxxers in the film, that'd be interesting. But they say he never bleeds. They say that as a child he never bled and nothing ever happened, and they... doctors would check on you. If you got a kid, he has to go get fucking, checked up at the hospital.
Well, they're in the middle of Kansas somewhere. Maybe they don't do
that. Do they
that.
not have fucking syringes in Kansas to give the kid?
I don't think Kansas believes in syringes.
The whole place is anti-vax. Okay.
They're very anti-syringe.
So anyway, this couple was played by Elizabeth Banks and David Denman, respectively. That's hard. I keep wanting to call him David Denham. Elizabeth Banks is that very timeless hottie from every film that you've seen. She's now a director, successful director. She directed, I believe, Pitch Perfect 2 and 3, and I believe she's directing. She was, she really got a big hit with the Pitch Perfect films. I think she acted in it, and then she started.
I don't even know what those are, but
that's like girls battling by singing a cappella. Anyway, she was in The Hunger Games. She played Effie Trinket. I read the Hunger Game books.
I never saw that.
I saw the first 2 movies, and then that was it for me. Was not interested in those. She directed the new Charlie's Angels. That's coming out. A movie
There's
nobody
a
gives
new
a
one?
fuck about. Yeah, I think it's like a woke Charlie's Angels. So I'm sure you're gonna be running to go see that one. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I need.
She played Rita Repulsa in the new Power Rangers movie. A movie I can't fathom. Like, I actually saw it. It wasn't
good.
You know what? It wasn't bad, but let me tell you this: the movie's 2 hours. They didn't turn into Power Rangers until the last 15 minutes of the movie.
I feel like you told me this. Yeah.
I was like, I could not understand what the fuck, because they had a big fight at the end. Goldar was not, you know how Goldar in the show, like, I wasn't a big fan of
Did they have that big giant head guy?
Yes, he was played by Bryan Cranston.
Cool.
Very complicated story. But when I, like, Power Rangers...
Is that what happens after he's done, like,
he got stuck in some sort of weird thing, because he was an original Power Ranger and he gets stuck. It's a whole complicated... The movie's not bad, it's just that they fucked up. They fuck it up. Like, Power Rangers is very simple. It's 3 people that have superpowers and they fuck up monsters. They try to make this into a very serious drama. And the actors are very good. You know the main Billy from Stranger Things? He was playing Jason. He's playing the main Red Ranger in the film. He's very good. And then they made, you know, Kimberly, right? Remember Kimberly, the hot pink Ranger?
Pink
like, she was a bitch. Like, she was like a character. She was an asshole, right? Like, her character shared a sex tape of one of her friends just to be an asshole, right?
Is that in the show?
No, of course not. It's not in the show. But anyway, her character, they don't show like actual like sex tape in the film, but she's saying, "Oh, why did you send my photo?"
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So Kimberly did that to one of her friends, but that friend is seen as a bad person. So like, and then some.
It sounds stupid.
It is, because then Kimberly, like, something bad happens to that girl later on, and we're supposed to laugh at this girl who had her sex tape leaked by Kimberly. Very strange movie, and they're rebooting it. Just have guys in fucking ninja outfits fighting giant monsters, and don't fuck up the designs of the monsters.
Yeah, that's all we really want.
Anyway, back to this film. Back to the superhero movies. Brightburn, this couple finds an asteroid or a spaceship that crash lands, and it's
scary.
It's the whole Superman mythos, and what if he is evil? And they take it. For some reason, I thought this movie was partially found footage. I have no idea why, even though clearly the film was done in regular film wise. And Elizabeth Banks, as hot as she is, she's there with her.
Very pretty.
She's with her. I guess you would call him a zaddy. That's what they call guys that are like big father types. They call them, zaddies. I guess it's a gay term, or I guess it's a woman and gay man's term for sort of bear type guys, but are fathers. I learned this from another podcast, not through my own research. Believe me. Anyway, so
are you considering becoming a zaddy?
That'd be nice. I'd like to be a nice zaddy. So they find this child. They raise it. It pops 10 years into the future. The kid, and I think that I really believe they picked this. The kid's good. Very good actor. You know? You think? He was good for what he is.
I don't think he was a good actor.
Okay. I think, well, okay, so here's one of the things. I think the reason why they picked him is because he looks like Christopher Reeves. He has a very similar face to Christopher Reeves, like if he was a kid.
I didn't think about that.
Just look at him, and he just looks like Christopher Reeves. He's just very strange. Or maybe they digitally manipulated. I don't know. Anyway, so what's your issues with his acting?
I mean, I just don't think he was good. I can't explain why.
You like to crush children's dreams of acting, but go ahead.
He wasn't, like, horrible, but, like, he's not that good. There are points where it's like,
Fair enough. I like that his name is Brendan Breyer, and I wonder if that's, like...
BB.
Right. That makes sense if that was like his insignia for his demon race or whatever the fuck alien race that he's part of. But how could it be that sort of like that convenient? Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
That he makes his insignia that fucking BB and his name is Brendan Breyer. Like, did he create that because his name is Brendan Breyer?
I think he created that because that's his name. That's his signature. Yeah.
But what's the compulsion of doing? Is it because he was trying to be? I guess he, as a kid, he just wanted to always be a superhero. So I guess that's what it is. We don't really see him.
I made it symbols when I was a kid.
He doesn't really rate. I know, but swastikas is not fun. So he really see that joke doesn't work. So I realized that joke does not work. So if I said pedophilia signal, that'd be funny for you.
Is there a symbol for that?
if there
I
is,
thought
I
we had
don't
to
want to
keep
see
it on the down low.
I don't want to know. So anyway, so he's raised up, and then on his 12th birthday, he's having a shift in personality because that old ship
gets activated.
That ship underneath this locked doorway or hatch, excuse me, in his family's farm, starts doing alien sound effects, calling him. It's beckoning him.
So, but like, okay, so this is where I'm a little confused now. Was he a normal boy with normal emotions, and then he got switched into a sociopath?
I think that's the case. I think he got activated. You know how like Son Goku was supposed to. Well, I guess they're trained.
Well, when he sees the moon, he gets activated.
Right. So I think there's an activation to it. Like I think at a certain maturity, you are supposed to Saiyanize the world like the Saiyans are. They're saying take the world, right? So maybe this is a hard reboot of Dragon Ball Z. They just changed everything, like fucking Christopher Nolan.
He needs a grandpa character and a Master Roshi.
No, but we learned how great it was in the live action.
God, Master Roshi's nose would have been gushing the whole time with Elizabeth Banks.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so what else do we go on? So I mean, I did like that when he fell down that hatch and his hand cut open because of the ship.
So I guess from the ship.
It would make sense that an object from his own home planet would cut him because it's in the same sort of frequency that he is. Like,
I guess.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, if you and I went to another planet and then we could punch shit and it breaks, but then if somebody happened
to bring, so cool.
I know, but if somebody happened to bring a brick from our planet and it falls on our foot, that would hurt like shit because it's
made from materials I would like if I could go to another planet and have superpowers, I would absolutely destroy it.
Peace planet, just destroy it just to be an asshole.
Whatever was going on there, I would make it so much worse for them.
So this movie, I heard it was gruesome, but I wasn't prepared for the gruesome level of.
Oh yeah, there were some scenes that were like, ooh.
From the first part, where there's a part where his classmate that he has a crush on, like he becomes. And I'm going to explain something about this film that bothered a lot of people, apparently. A lot of women were bothered by this film. But two movies we did that apparently had, like, guys that couldn't get... Young white men or older white men, like in Director's Cut, being objected to. I'll get to that later. Anyway, so...
What? Because they were rejected?
Yeah, like that type of film. And I think those there's a reviewer called Grace Randolph, who I like watching her show. She's not great on every review. Like I disagree with her on a lot of stuff, and she has some weird picks for like good movies. But she's entertaining enough because she gives good news on stuff. And she was like, she wouldn't even review this film. She wouldn't waste the time on it. I was like, oh brother, like what is it? But I think she felt like this is sort of a wet dream for some, those future shooters type guys, because it's like a white kid who has all this power and he can just kind of take out anybody he wants.
Well, he's not a white kid; he's a fucking alien.
It's true. That's absolutely true. So maybe it goes with that. But still, the white his skin is white. So he's white. Look at him. He's white.
Now, why does he look like a human? Do you think he transformed that way to blend with them?
No, and it's like why does Superman look human? It's the same thing.
Well, because they weren't creative enough.
Oh, I guess so. But they had Martian Manhunter, no? Wasn't it like at the same time? He was green. Anyway, so people had issues with that because they felt like this is some sort of empowerment fantasy for guys that can't get ass or something like that. Anyway, which I can see. I can see people
12-year-olds aren't trying to get ass.
Who knows? So maybe there's other countries where you grow older than you should be. So there are some gruesome fucking violence in this film. So some girl that rejects him, he decides to kill her mother, and it is bad business.
The eye part.
She looks up into the ceiling, and there's these tungsten lights. Is that tungsten light? No, not tungsten lights. What are those? Those are
no, not tungsten's just fancy camera lights. It was fluorescent.
Fluorescent lights, and they pop and shatter over her eyes. And a nail comes in, and there's a very graphic scene of her pulling a shard of glass out of her eye, and it is fucking. They do not pull away. Like I still couldn't watch the scene.
Yeah, it was hard for me to look at.
I still couldn't watch the scene from Gerald's Game with the hand peeling off.
Oh, it's so bad.
But this one, I was like, oof. Like even I was like, oh.
No, I forced myself to watch Gerald's Game and this. Gerald's Game is definitely worse, and so is Antichrist. But this is bad.
Yeah. So then this lady, like, she pulls, and you see like the white fluid coming out of the eye, like, I mean, the clear fluid, and then she pulls up, and then they have like this cartoonish spurt of blood come out. Anyway, so that's graphic. But then the kill after that was
the jawbone one.
Yeah, that was bad. Like, he decides to kill his uncle, or I guess she's uncle by law, and he crashes his fucking car. Like, he picks up his uncle's car and drops it. Because at first I thought he was just injuring these people, like not killing them, because you don't see the lady's death in the first scene. Like, they just can't find her. And I thought,
I assumed
he killed her. But then I also was like, when they said they couldn't find the body, I was like, okay, maybe he's just scaring. People.
Look, that girl shouldn't have rejected his love.
Yes, men's rights, right? So
right, then men need equality too.
So when the uncle, there's somebody,
especially the white ones.
There's some asshole that absolutely is believing what you're saying right now. They're like,
did you hear? And he's nodding his head like. Yeah, well, yeah, I meant for Trump 2020.
I meant for the overreactive. There was an overreactive woman and an asshole guy. Both believe this is real. So then the uncle crashes his car and his jaws snapped off, and you see him pull his hand away from his face and his jaw loosely hangs. And that's that
that was the dude from Breaking Bad. He's also in a
Beaver
sitcom.
Or Otter?
Beaver, something like that. And he's also in a he's in this sitcom my mom watches.
Oh, okay, nice.
About like alcoholics or something.
I like him. I like that.
It's like a funny show though.
He seems like a cool dude. Yeah. There's what other murders in here? He kills his own dad with the lasers through the eyes thing.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
That was upsetting. And that was
a cop.
There's some nice looking shots in this film, and they're definitely sort of parodying a film that's not as famous, which is. I guess it is famous. Man of Steel, the Superman film.
I didn't see it
because they do. I mean, there's some great fights.
Stupid.
That movie had some great fucking fights. Honestly, it had Dragon Ball Z.
I've only seen the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I don't have any interest in any of them.
Yeah, I saw Batman vs Superman. I saw Man of Steel. I mean, like.
Yeah,
whatever.
No, everybody's
Justice
like, yeah,
League,
it's okay. Like,
but the fighting in it is like Dragon Ball. Like if you want to see a real Dragon Ball fight, go watch that movie. Like, it's really good. Just go look on YouTube, and they have great fights in it. Anyway,
I mean, I can see that in the Matrix.
But yeah, I guess. And now we got Part 4 coming out, so that'll be fun. They're gonna explain Neo coming back and Trinity.
He fucking died. He died.
He's gonna get his eyeballs back. Maybe they were.
He's gonna live only in the Matrix.
Maybe they were in a Matrix within the Matrix.
You think? I think that he's going to be in the Matrix.
I was always upset that wasn't like real. Like, they weren't really flying around. Like, this is all internet shit. Do you know what I mean? But that's just me.
That's cool though.
Yeah. So anyway, and then real. Also, Spider-Man leaving the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was.
Yeah. Well, that's not definite. I read a follow-up. Article.
Yeah, it was funny because then they were notes that saying Tom Holland doesn't have to do a third and fourth film, and neither the director. And then Tom Holland unfollowed Sony on Instagram. So I'm sure everybody's gonna be playing ball. Like, what's weird is that Sony picked Tom Holland to be Spider-Man.
Well, listen, I read an article, and Sony is like basically backpedaling.
But they're also saying, because I think what happened is Disney wanted 50-50 on the movies. And I think they get 5% of the main earnings of the film.
I mean, there's a big world between 5 and 50.
Here's the thing. Another thing, because I'm sort of like, with that news, I'm sort of disappointed and excited.
I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I do like him as Spider-Man. I'm excited and disappointed at the same time because here's the thing. Marvel films, you are painted into a very narrow corner with those movies. Like, when you see Spider-Man 1 and 2, I don't think there was a third one from Sam Raimi. They're great.
Yeah, there was. It was horrible.
No, I don't remember that movie. That movie don't exist.
It was terrible.
So those movies felt big. They felt bold. They didn't feel hitched to other films. Marvel films, they're all hitched together. Like, you can't.
I don't mind. I like that they're hitched together.
I don't give a fuck about Tony. I'll say Iron Man being a huge factor in a Spider-Man movie. I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see Iron Man and Spider-Man. Yeah, but Iron Man's in the whole fucking first movie, and then his ghost is bothering the second film. And I'm like, enough. Get Spider-Man have his own fucking adventures. I'm here to see Spider-Man, okay? Gosh darn it.
In any case,
but here's the thing.
I want to see Wolverine and Spider-Man fucking fighting with, like, I don't know, fucking, I don't know. I can't think. The Hulk or something. The Hulk, maybe.
And
whatever.
So
just a
also, but one more
combination of
thing.
people.
But one thing also is that if they had the creative team of Into the Spider-Verse do Spider-Man
that's so
films,
good.
huh?
It's so good.
What do you think
It's
about
so
that?
good.
Would that not be great?
It would, except
Okay,
I
then.
really want the Marvel Universe to fucking continue.
Right, of course. It's still going to continue. They just need a big superhero. They got Thor. That's about it. Nobody else really is, out of the top three, he's really the only.
Well, they're about to have female Thor. They've got Captain Marvel. They've got a lot of them are dead. They got the whole Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. They got Chinese Hawkeye. They got Jewish Hulk. You'll see them all. It's
Do
pretty
they have
good.
Jewish Hulk?
Yeah, he could get his foreskin.
He's like totally fine, but then like
he needs Wolverine to cut his foreskin off because
he dropped.
Anyway, so that's superhero news. So if the guys from Into the Spider-Verse were in control of Spider-Man, then I would have no issue with Spider-Man being in his own film.
That's one of the best. Honestly, the Spider-Verse movie is one of the best.
I would argue it's better than
than
the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
It's better than all of the Spider-Man movies.
I like Spider-Man 2 a lot, but you're right. Spider-Verse was fucking incredible. Anyway, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. Back to this superhero film. What did you think of the genuine how the movie, like the look of it, the genuine storytelling part of it?
I'm like a little conflicted.
Okay, why?
I should like it, but I don't.
Really? Okay, so you weren't a fan of the movie.
It was okay. It was okay. It's just like, I don't know. It felt like it was almost there, but there was just something off. And I kept trying to think, like, why don't I like this? And it just felt
Was it because it was a cisgender white male as the lead character?
I couldn't handle that part of it. I think, but they made him a villain, and that's the way it should be.
Ah, that's true. But he was a successful villain, though.
Yeah, but they'll lose in the end. They always do.
I mean, there were some beautiful shots, especially towards the end when he lifts his mother into the
that's great. Yeah, that's
and you
great.
see drop her, and then he's just there in the darkness in the sky, like really good-looking shots. Like I was like, man, that's fucking great. And then they mentioned some of James Gunn's other films, so like they're all in a shared universe, which is I can't think of the name, but Dwight from The Office did a movie called Super, where he's like. It came out at the same time as...
Is he a super of a building?
No.
There's a movie with Joe Pesci where he's the super of a building.
But anyway, so that movie is about a guy who's like very much... It came out at the same time as Kick-Ass. So it's like a regular person as a superhero and like hitting people with wrenches and shit. It's very fucked up. It's a very dark movie. I saw parts of it. It's a very sad movie. You see him at the end, like at the very end when you see Michael Rooker, who's always in James Gunn movies. He's playing the Alex Jones type character, and then you see a photo of the superhero character on the bottom left. He's wearing red. I don't
know. I think the kid's acting kind of kept throwing me off, and also
I thought he was all right. I said he was a great actor, but I gave him.
He was all right.
I guess.
And then also, I don't know. I guess there wasn't like enough conflict, and also it's just like the idea of like he went from like nice kid to like full sociopath just because he heard some voices from an alien spaceship. I don't know. It's not like he's like, But how is he activated? He's still the same mind.
It said take the world. If you went to a glowing machine and it told you to take the world, you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, and then you become an asshole? That makes sense for me.
Yeah, but he kept going back and forth because sometimes he would show emotions and sometimes he wouldn't. And it was just like, I don't get what it's going for.
I thought it was better than average. It could have been a lot worse, but I think it was competently directed. It had very graphic gore. Here's the thing: every horror movie that's like coming out has been pretty fucking awful. So to see one that doesn't completely
I don't agree with that at all. I think we've had a lot of really good ones lately.
All right, fair enough. So what rating?
Even the bad ones are kind of good.
What rating would you give this film?
I feel like a dick. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5.
Wow, it's higher than what I was gonna give it. 7.5.
Maybe I'll lower it to 4. No, 7.5. Because it is like it's worth watching. I guess it's not like terrible, but 7.5 out of 10. Knocking your uncle's jaw off with a steering wheel.
Oof, that's nice. Yeah, I was gonna give it a 6, but you're right. I think it's better than it should be. I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. getting rid of a very hot actress such as Elizabeth Banks, which is not good.
Yeah.
She's hot. With that, Danny.
But you know what? It's good that they dropped her because she was all fucked up from having her head rammed through the ceiling. She probably would have had scars. She wouldn't have been nearly as hot.
Oh, such sexist remarks. With that, Danny, what's the final word?
I'm gonna lash out at you.
The horror deconstruction.